Gobble, gobble! It is now time for more of the Last Comic Shop podcast! Woo!
I wish there was a way to make the hand turkeys with just your hands. There you go.
That's right. We are here on Thanksgiving Eve, that night when everybody goes out drinking with their friends, but we're drinking in here with our friends, and we're drinking with you guys. Hopefully everybody's going to enjoy this the next couple of hours as we talk about comic books we're thankful for and those ones that we're not so thankful for, those comic book turkeys. We'll be right back right after our show opening with that chat. So here we go.
Countdown to the Last Comic Shop in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I have to admit, I've never watched one of these live back.
You never have? It's okay. That's all right, Chad. We don't. It's tough. Like, again, when we do these live streams, we're usually in some like different place, and then they don't get to see all the graphics that you guys do here on the Last Comic Shop. But I will say that they exist. So we just had the little opening there. I'm the host with the most, Andy Larson. I'm joined by Chad Smith, who. We might buy him one of those like little mini monitors one of these days. You can have it on the side. So I
don't have enough room for that. I'm cluttered enough as it is.
That's true. That's true. We're also joined by the wonderful Mikey Wood, who oftentimes graces us for these live streams, as well as George from Short Box Summary, a fantastic podcast that talks about comic books from the early 2000s. Early 2000s. That's right.
Yay.
I was going to ask you, George, is there a particular comic book from the early 2000s that you are extremely thankful for? That again, maybe is higher on the thankful meter than other comic books from that era?
Yeah, I actually think it's a comic I'm probably never going to talk about on my podcast, which really bums me out, but I have it right here. Y the Last Man was an obsession of mine when I was in high school. I remember I used to go to IGN.com. They used to have a really good comic section on that website. And so I'd go there every Wednesday, check out the weekly reviews, look for books that I wasn't reading that were scoring highly. And this book I'd never heard of was constantly scoring 9s and 10s. And that's when I started doing the numbers. Before, they used to just have like this section of like must have, must read, check it out, read it, burn it, whatever, don't bother. Like they just had like these phrases as rankings. And man, it got must owns all the time. I was like, what the hell is this book? And then I remember going to my local comic shop, picking up the first trade, which was $10. Thank you, Vertigo. And just becoming obsessed. And like, that was like my summer, was just like catching up on that series. And then like, it got to a point where I was like, when the hell's the next trade coming out, man? Like, I'm caught up. Like, I need to know what's happening with Yorick Brown and Ampersand and Agent 355. And I just love that book so much. And I hope to cover it on my podcast, but actually, fuck it. Like, it's my podcast. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
That's true.
What's stopping you?
What kind of rules are you following? It's your podcast.
Yeah, it's like, wait, I'm not a cop. Like, I can do it. It's fine. Yeah.
I will say that on the Last Comic Shop podcast in our first season, we actually covered Y the Last Man when around the same time that they put out the FX show. And Chad, do you recall your thoughts on Y the Last Man?
I had read a trade or two whenever it came out the first time around, and like BKV is always real good, but I did feel like this one did not age as well as some of the other Brian K. Vaughan work. So
sure, I can absolutely see that. I haven't read it in a couple years. I remember liking it, rereading it, just being like, God, yeah, this book still hits. And then like a bunch of stuff where I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's definitely of its time, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's like you can really feel the early 2000s.
Yeah, sure was a brotastic 2005 book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I was curious about Mikey and his thoughts on Y the Last Man, given, again, he's a Vertigo guy.
Yeah.
Did you read this when it was coming out?
No,
Mike? No.
No, I didn't read it when it was coming. I don't know why I didn't read. I don't think there was any particular reason. I think it was just like it was another book that I could, it was like I had to kind of pick and choose. But I did one day kind of sit down and read the whole thing in like 2 days on one of those like not quite legal comic book sites where they scan everything. So I was like breezing through them. And I've read it, from the beginning to the end, and it was great. It was a great. I don't know. There's a couple of books that I've read in my lifetime that I really, really, really enjoy, but I don't know if I'd ever reread them for different reasons. Like Concrete.
Sure.
Concrete's an example. Like I read like every Concrete trade paperback that Dark Horse had put out. I found them at Ides for super cheap. Bought them all, read them all, really, really enjoyed them, and sold them. It's just not something that I think I'll ever read through again. And why is that way too? Why is beautiful? It's beautifully done, and I really, really enjoyed it. But I don't see myself revisiting it again. But that might change somewhere along the line, But yeah, I really liked it. I like how it wrapped up. I liked,
That's
the
curious
mystery
that
of it
you
all.
bring up Concrete, because
Yeah.
like that's a series. That is a series in which I have an older brother who has oftentimes told me about good comic books I should be reading. And at one point he did get me, I think it's called Depths. I think that's the first trade paperback of the of the Concrete stories. It's got the one where, there's like a plane crash and they're in the boat for a little while. There's also the origin story where, he first gets the concrete, he becomes concrete or whatever.
Yeah.
I recall reading that one like several times and then not reading anything more from Concrete.
Yeah.
I just read that. I just that collection of issues. I just thought that's all I really needed to know about this Concrete character. There's a story about him going into like a mine shaft and saving some miners and stuff. And but again, that's another book. At the time, my older brother, who he was reading Y the Last Man, he was reading Fables. He was reading I think Marvel's 1602 and thinking it was real good. So
Concrete is like super laid back and introspective, and it's not, you look at the character and you wonder, okay, what's it going to be, like a Swamp Thing kind of book, or and it's not. It's just kind of like this like what happens if he's a speechwriter, he's like a political speechwriter. What happens if the least interesting human being on the planet gets super abilities? What do you do with
Well, not just that, but it basically put in a concrete prison,
like an alien suit. Yeah,
right. Like it's like the true Ben Grimm, like what it would be like to really be Ben Grimm, and like I don't know, not have any genitals, and just like
there's a lot of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of
stuff going on there, but wanting still to be a human being, but like not having that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book.
Before we move off of Concrete, George, Chad, either of you ever read Concrete?
Haven't, no.
No, I own a couple of issues, and I've always flipped through them and been intrigued by the Paul Chadwick art, but I've never sat down to give them a solid read through.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but like that feels like an older brother comic, like one that like you were like I was reading like Baby Cape shit, and then like it's like my brother's. It's like but like Concrete is like the cool stuff. It's like I want to read it because of that, where it feels like the book I should have been reading if I were a teenager in the 90s, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Well, that's a recommendation for you, George. Put on your Christmas buy list, maybe. Get Concrete Depths. I think that's the trade you can. I think that's all you need to get. It has like 4 or 5 issues of Concrete. They're actually all the best ones. They're from the beginning of the series. You could probably read more. I never did. I felt like I got everything that this whole Concrete thing was about.
That's what you did with Transformers too. We just had our Transformers show. You're like, I got the first arc. I'm good. You're missing out on all the fun.
I gotta move on to certain other comic books. And speaking of comic books, Chad and I had an opportunity this past weekend to go to an awesome show in the Pittsburgh area, the Pittsburgh Comic Show. It was a great time. Wonderful vendors there, great tables, lots of dollar books and dollar bins. And I thought that real quickly before we go to commercial break, Chad and I would show off some of the picks that we got from that particular show to our good friends Mikey and George. And if they have some comic books that they would like to show us from their collections that maybe they got recently, we could do a little bit of a swap meet. So let's start off with you, Chad. Hey, let's start.
Look at this guy,
How's it going,
Mr.
everybody?
Ethan Larson. Welcome, sir.
Yes.
We gather together to watch cheesy movies. Wait, that's the wrong show.
It's the Mystery Science Theater 3000. Welcome to Ethan Larson, my wonderful brother. He's going to be joining us here for some blind ranks in a little bit. But as to catch Ethan up, we were going to be talking about some of the comic books that we recently got at the Pittsburgh Comic Show before we go to commercial break. So, Ethan, sit back, have a beer. Chad's going to grace us with one of them at least.
I was going to say, I have a handful. Do you want the ones that I spent what I consider to be real money on, where I max out at $20?
I want you to give us the most interesting ones, the ones that you were like, oh, geez, these were real gems.
Well, so there were some really great buck bins in there, and I fished out books that I never expected to find, like the Captain America Annual 8 with the Mike Zeck Wolverine cover.
Great
I got
book.
that one handy. That was in there. I got one of the books that's been on my list forever to pick up, and I haven't been able to find it for a good price, let alone for $1. And I still can't find it here today. So I'm going to pretend like I was talking about this X-Force comic interview with this awesome Rob Liefeld cover. Oh, I'm so excited about that. But I also got the last story that Stan Lee ever wrote is in this book, this Marvel 75. And lots of other cool. Here's the first. I got the first time Rhodey was War Machine.
Wow.
Avengers West Coast. That came out of a Buckman. Another last. X-Men, the final issue from the original volume 1. And then also I got one of my, here it is. It's Spider-Man Reign. This is the book that, and I haven't been able to flip through. This one might have more of Peter Parker than Marvel was comfortable publishing. So they,
I love that book. I really do.
Yeah, you do, actually.
I do. I love that book. You'll probably hate it.
For
so
those
Carrie
folks
Andrews.
that don't know, this is the one where Spider-Man gives Mary Jane cancer with radioactive jizz. So,
Well,
come on.
Let's body
be more respectful of the reunion. This one I paid $10
now
real
that's a
dollars
good
for.
one. That's a good one. I love that book. I love that book.
It's the Dark Knight Returns with Spider-Man. Like, in fact, he uses he uses like Miller and Varley in there as character names and stuff. Like, it's very, very much an homage to that. But I like
it on
his
pretty
work.
thick. Yeah.
It's pretty thick. Yeah, but I really enjoy his work. I like his artwork a lot. So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Dark Knight of it all, because I definitely got those vibes whenever I read Spider-Man Reign. But here's another one I picked up. I think I might have paid $2 for this. It's a Carrie Andrews cover. And, he is now the knockoff Todd McFarlane for Marvel.
Yeah.
And they've got, Nick Bradshaw's their knockoff Art Adams, and Carrie Andrews is their knockoff McFarlane. But I picked that one up.
So much more than that, I feel. He does, but, those Amazing Fantasy covers. Boy, howdy. Those are just...
No, he's very versatile. But this is where he is today. But this was the first time I actually noticed him was on Reign. All right, and then two more. One was this one. This is the one I was telling Mikey about earlier. The First Huntress, the modern age one, and then I found one of my favorite gimmick covers of all time. You guys know I love gimmicks, and I found the Lotto scratch off "Who Will Jane Be Today" issue of Doom Patrol.
Yes, he actually found me one of those as well. I have one. You can go out to our YouTube and you can actually see us when this issue first came out. Chad was giving me a little bit of grief in that video because I didn't want to scratch mine off. I wanted to keep mine pristine.
Lotto
So
tickets.
now
Yeah.
finally,
Now that is
finally-
something I did not have in the blind ranking that we're going to be having
Yeah.
in the what is it, Deceased, or is it United? Where is it? The January episode? We blind ranked some of the famous comic book cover variant types. And
Yeah.
scratch off I did not have on there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's many, but you know what? I have one right here. Let's go ahead and scratch it off.
Finally,
live.
I didn't
for
scratch
everyone.
mine off. And actually,
2
you
years
should
later.
probably mention the fact that we interviewed the writer of that book.
We did. That's right.
which
Dennis
I was
Culver.
not on that show.
No, you were.
Oh,
on,
that's
Dennis.
right. Yeah.
You were on
I-
Dennis Culver.
No, I was lost in the woods.
Oh, I'm okay.
That's a good
Lost in
episode.
the
I
woods.
don't even do I have that issue with the scratch off. I don't even know if I have that.
Well, in any case, we're gonna go ahead and scratch it off here. So,
And
I
so,
don't
for the
have-
background for folks, Jane has a multiple personality disorder. Each power or personality comes with their own powers, and so there were 7 or 8 different options. I want to say for this one.
all right.
All right,
I'm
and
using-
he's scratching. Gus the
I'm-
groundhog will be proud.
Uh oh. Let's
Oh.
go. Let's go.
Coincidentally, I was at the lotto machine the other day. They have little keychain scratchers you could pick up.
I wonder, do we have anybody have like what were the variant like possibilities here? Oh, I
also
think I got the chief. I think I
Ooh.
got the chief. Which is an interesting. If I did get the chief, that's awesome. If I got the chief, that's one of her. That's actually who she is in the comic for the most part
Yeah, she assumes the role.
of the chief.
Yeah.
Who is like the leader of the Doom Patrol, the man in the chair, as it were. But yeah, no, it's definitely the chief. Let's go ahead and show that up there.
Ta-da!
Look at that.
Wow.
That's actually kind of neat. I think I might
Nice.
leave it half scratched off.
There
I
you
like
go.
I like the effect.
There's the
uh,
rest, according to Google.
Ooh.
And you could have been the chief. You could have been the chainsaw nun. I think I have a chainsaw nun back in the box. I also had. Oh, I didn't have Black Annis.
Mm.
Black Annis. Ah. And another option. This was the other option. I had the Sun God.
Sun Daddy.
Sun Daddy. There you
There
go.
you go. But
Oh, there's more. Hold on. Wait, we got more.
uh-oh.
We've got the Shy variant was a possibility. And there you go. that was it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's so yeah, I scratched mine off. Real quickly, some of the other comic books that I was able to pick up. This one is particular for my brother Ethan. I got a Marvel Zombies 3 variant.
Very cool.
And for everybody that knows, it's one of my absolute favorite comic books of all time. One I'm thankful for every single year to have, and actually it was Chad. Chad was nice enough. I wouldn't even have known about this. He was digging, and he's like, "You want this?" And I said, "Yes."
Now, are you referring to Marvel Zombies 3 from Fred Van Lente, or do you mean Machine Man #1?
No,
it's homaging?
Machine. I love Marvel Zombies 3. If you go back to the last comic shop, you can listen
There
to
you
that
go.
episode. Ethan's on that episode. It was just part of our
Oh, cool.
Halloween mega pack
Yes.
because that was the one where we talked. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups wins the whole kit and caboodle for the best trick or treat candy.
Yeah, with
So-
Kids Mix making a solid showing. way
Those are
way
always-
higher than it should have been.
Those are always the worst. I listen to those shows and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's
Well,
like,
all right. Well, so what would have been your pick then, Mikey? If you were
for the
gonna-
best Halloween candy,
Yeah, best Halloween candy.
cocaine.
Ah!
Oh, you mean for children? Actually, Reese's are the best. Popcorn balls, good old fashioned popcorn balls.
What is this? 1903?
It's classic. That's a great
What
answer.
about a Crunch Bar? You don't see those very often. You have to
I like Crackle. I'm a Crackle man.
That's the thing. Like Crackle, Mr. Goodbar.
All the off-brand
And-
ones, yeah.
Yeah, like all the ones that, like I feel like I only see those at Halloween. God, what's the other one?
And that's the only time.
Yeah, but I've never seen full-size ones. Always just the mini versions.
the minis ones, yeah.
They all got
Yeah.
shrunk down in some horrific accident.
You know, it's very rare to see a Butterfinger out in the wild anymore, too.
Yeah.
Butterfingers used to be everywhere, like with Bart
Yeah.
Simpson. And
What's Bart
90s.
doing?
Everybody's laying a finger on his Butterfinger.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another comic book I picked up, one of my absolute favorite comic books of all time. This is Incredible Hulk 140 with one of the best titles for a comic book, The Brute That Shouted Love from the Heart of an Addict. Written by the science fiction writer Harlan Ellison,
Yes.
who he used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel Sunday mornings in the 90s. I used to dig him.
You know what? We need more Hulk in 2026. That's my.
You know what?
I'm
JA
gonna
mentioned
pop
that for
Yes.
our Mighty Marvel Mighty Marvel March Society. There you go. He was like, we need to read more Herb Trimpe Hulk, and so I was like, yes, we do. So there's a couple other ones that I have here, but I will save those for later on. We got to get to commercial break because we're going to be right back after this.
Yeah.
With blind ranks. Ethan's going to help us out with some blind ranks. Unless either George and Mikey, do you have any comic books you want to share real quick before we go? No,
Sure.
Or is it books that we're thankful for?
not yet.
Not
That's
yet.
after
okay.
that's it.
Oh.
That's in a little
I
bit.
saw.
So we'll be right back right after this commercial break for BCWSupplies.com.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at BCWSupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD.
All right, we're back with more of the Last Comic Shop, and as you can see, the episode that's out now is our episode all about the Transformers, the Daniel Warren Johnson first 6 issues of that Image Skybound series. You can go out to www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com, download that episode right now so that you have us to help you, I don't know, baste your turkey in the morning. So, like, I don't know, maybe, but it's got a really great opening segment where JA and I and Chad talk about obscure action figure play sets as we lead in to the action figure play set tournament that will happen in just a couple weeks. So we talk about the Love Boat. We talk about the mansion from Annie, the Daddy Warbucks mansion. Some Smurf stuff, just some great stuff. Chad, any thoughts on anything that we talked about on this week's show? You're on mute, sir.
We also talked about things like Castle Grayskull and toys we knew stuff about.
That's
I never
true.
had a Love Boat, but I had a Castle Grayskull. Tell you that,
That's true.
sir.
It was so. If you were going to rank the second best one, so Castle Grayskull's obviously the best Masters of the Universe playset. What was the second best one, Chad?
Oh, for me, it was Snake Mountain. It was that microphone.
Uh,
This was years before anybody had a karaoke machine. You give a kid a live mic, they're all tinny and It's
No,
good
I-
times.
I like the Fright Zone. I like the Fright Zone because it came with the puppet, the dragon puppet, and like it was
Oh.
all real creepy. It was like I never understood how like I don't know who would hang out there, but it had like the twisted tree and like a cage where you could put people. And again, it had that puppet, which again is really hard to find now. Luckily, I still have my puppet, but those things go for a lot of money because they were made out of rubber and they just like disintegrated after years. So it was like putting a dishwashing glove on your hand.
Ooh.
So
I'm surprised people still have Grizzlors after the Ooze playset, because that ruined every Grizzlor I had.
the slime pit.
The
Yes.
slime pit. Yeah.
That was just a reason to buy figures and ruin them. And the slime never stayed. They told me to put it in like a dark place, and it just disintegrated, and it just became a mess. And my
That
mom
was a
just threw it
mistake.
out.
I put it in a dark place, and now I have to go to the hospital.
Ethan, real quickly,
Yes.
any action figure playset dreams, wonders? I mean, you're going to be on the actual tournament in a couple weeks.
Yeah, there was a severe lack of Playmobil on that list. But nobody knows about Playmobil unless you're German.
Unless you're a weird little Dutch boy. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Which Playmobil is awesome though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you used
It
to have
is.
to go to like a specialty toy stop and they cost hundreds of dollars for like
Yeah.
this little truck or playset kind of stuff.
Mikey, action figure playsets, best ones.
Best ones. I was just thinking, your the only Masters of the Universe action figure I ever owned was a Manny Faces, and that's because somebody left it at my house when I was a kid. I wasn't into He-Man. I thought they were silly looking, but I think
No, that's a good one to have though. He was like the Frankenstein.
yeah, he had the monster face and the robot face and the guy face.
He
That
was
really
never
cool.
he was never a good guy. In my
Yeah.
canon, he was never just a good guy. He was like whoever controlled him. He was like the Hulk. Like you just let him run wild. He'd put on that monster face and he'd get super
Yeah.
strong and he could punch out He-Man.
So, are you asking what my favorite action figure playset was? Or
yeah, why
my,
or
my favorite one is the it's back there actually. It's the Kenner Hoth Imperial battle base, whatever it was called. It had like this collapsible bridge, and it has this black thing that collapses if you hit a button, and it's got
See?
little footprints in the snow, and it's got
I told JA that there were lots of Kenner Star Wars playsets, and he said there were two, like a Dagobah one.
there's a
and
Dagobah one.
in the Ewok village, and I was like, there was the Death Star, and he said that was crap. He said he's not here to defend himself.
That's the Death Star.
Yeah.
Right there. The Dagobah village, that's
Oh.
the Dagobah village over there. That was his that he gave me as a trade for some art, which is very nice of him. There's AT-AT is considered a playset. I don't know.
Now,
Uh,
is it? We
there's
had that
the-
conversation. He refused to let me pick the Millennium Falcon because it was a vehicle.
Oh, that's the newer AT-AT. Yeah.
Ooh,
That's
look at
the
that.
old AT-AT is back there. There was a ton of playsets. There was the right over there is Dagobah and the Cantina,
Yes.
and there were two Hoth playsets. They're back there. There was I mean there was the Star Destroyer.
Right?
It was kind
He
of
said that one was crap.
it was
He's again
kind of-
not here to defend himself.
I mean,
but-
the only thing that was cool about the Star Destroyer is it had Darth Vader's little pod
Oh
thing.
yeah, it did.
That was
didn't
kind of
it?
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, there was a ton. I love those all things. There's some there were a few of them where there was like this one called Land of the Jawas, which was like this. You got a plastic bottom that was like sand, and it came with the ship that C-3PO and R2-D2 crashed in. It was super cool, and it had a cardboard back that you'd have to fold into this sand crawler. And then when Empire Strikes Back came out, they released the same thing in white, and it was snow, and it had an AT-AT that you had to fold together in cardboard. But it was the same exact layout and everything. It even had the
Oh,
sand crawler
boy.
tank treads in it and everything. But But yeah. But I think that's my favorite one is the Imperial Battle Base. From
All right.
Hoth. It's, I
Well,
love that.
let's get to George real fast, and then we're gonna get to blind ranks here. So, George, what do you say? I think you're on mute. I think you muted yourself there. Maybe shrugs. That will.
Mute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can actually.
Okay, sorry. When I picked up the Imperial Walker, it disconnected my microphone because I'm grown up. The greatest toy set of all time is the USS Flag, right? Like that's easily number one,
Oh yeah.
right?
I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Never greatest one I ever had. I grew up in like the re-release era of Star Wars movies. I was born in 1990. So like all the Galoob micro machines, those were my favorites. And they had two sets that would like fold up really nicely into like briefcases. So you could take like Echo Base with you in like a little briefcase and have like the battle out front and then the base behind it. And then they also had like a Death Star that would fold out and it was like all to scale, like the Action Fleet series, which had like little, probably 1 inch tall figures. They had that, and then I think there was also like a Yavin base, but like those were like my holy grail toys, and like might have bought 1 or 2 of those on eBay in the past couple of years just because I never had them as a kid. So those are like the coolest things in the world to me.
Ethan had some of those,
Yeah,
right?
I had the micro machines. Yeah. And it actually led to one of the biggest fights I ever had with one of my friends. Is like we were playing with them at one point, and this was when Andy was really big into role-playing games. It's particularly like Champions and just stuff based on dice. And I was like, okay, well, we have to figure out how much damage you're going to do with your ship. And then my friend just gave this big, long, exasperated sigh. And this was like, can we just play with toys? And then he never came back to my house.
Wow.
Good job, Andy.
Yeah, I know, right? I just ruined everything. With my love of an obscure D&D slash
Champions of Norath, is that?
No, this was actually this was a superhero role-playing game from the 80s and 90s. This particular one had all art by George Perez.
Yeah.
That's what you actually see on the cover there. It was it was actually a really great game.
Is that a GURPS game?
It's sort of, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was definitely different than it was a D6. It wasn't a D20 like Dungeons and Dragons, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Let's get to blind rankings. Whoa, wait, hold on.
Chad, we are on air. See?
Oh, we are.
See, look at that.
Good. Is it popping up? Well, JA, ironically, and I don't know, this is inside baseball, but as Andy was talking smack on JA, like, he said, that's crap. That's crap. JA sends a message. He's like, are you guys on air? What happened to the live feed? And so I don't know if Andy has some sort of like self-sabotaging device installed on JA's YouTube.
Or are we not actually broadcasting?
Or we might not be on air, but George has proven.
Yes, we are definitely on air over
the red button is there. I see that red button.
For sure. But yeah, let's get to blind ranks. Blind ranks
Sponsored by.
Blind Ranks is sponsored by bcwsupplies.com. Make sure that you're going out to BCW Supplies over this holiday season, making sure that you're picking up all those bags, boards, boxes, all that miscellaneous comic book bric-a-brac that you need to keep your comic books looking fresh. And if you use the promo code LCSPOD, you can save yourself 10% off of that stuff you're buying anyways. And show a little love back to the last comic shop. That's right. Use LCSPOD over at BCW Supplies. Save yourself 10% on all of your comic book and collecting needs.
And I was going to say it's also brought to you by 7-Eleven, which published this comic book with such gems as you draw this half and then color it too. That's right. You draw this half and then color it too. Thank you, 7-Eleven. Put this in your Mylar and BCW supplies from bcwsupplies.com.
There you go. All right, so blind ranks. Ethan, real quickly for those folks that may not know what blind ranks are, why don't you give us the heads up? What is a blind rank for those people that don't know?
So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a subject, and I'm going to give you guys 5 choices. The 5 choices, you're not going to know which one is coming next. So then you're going to determine between scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the worst, 1 being the best. And so I'm going to give you a subject area, let's say like best Fantastic Four characters. And you guys are going to have to blind rank them in a row, and you're not going to know which one's coming next.
Oh,
That math never added up to me anyway.
so
Top 5 Fantastic Four. Wait, what? Ooh,
Yeah, exactly. So-
All right. So what's up first?
All right. So I'm going to need y'all to blind rank these games based on comics.
Hell yeah.
We're going to start off with Turok 2 on the N64.
I played Turok 1. I'm pretty sure I played Turok 1 on the N64. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a Turok 2.
Oh, Turok 2 was the
George?
better game.
There were 3 on N64, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't play this. Chad didn't play this. Mikey, did you play any of the Turoks on the N64? All right. So this is totally George. This is your ranking. Where do you think this is going to fall? Do you think we're going to get things better than Turok 2?
I certainly hope so. I think it's fine. I like the first one more personally. Was
Yeah.
it Seeds of Rage or Seeds of Evil was the second one, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It was good. It was so much harder than the first one. We're doing this out of 5.
Yes.
Seeds
I
of
would-
Evil. Yeah, Turok
of
2
Evil.
Seeds of Evil. Yeah.
All right.
And it
I'm
just
gonna
had a
put-
better multiplayer. I just remember
Oh,
that.
it did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what it was pretty much known for.
Man, I remember
We're
there was
going
like
5.
20. I was gonna go 4 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
But there was like a 25 character cheat code in that first game that I used to have memorized. That would give you all the guns, level select, God mode, all this stuff. Like it basically just broke the game, and you could select from a menu of what you wanted activated. God, those first games, incredible, so good.
Amazing.
So you were saying 4? We're going on you, George. If you're saying 4.
I'm saying 4 because like I feel like Ethan, I don't know you super well. I'm so afraid you have Superman 64 somewhere. I can't have that higher than 4.
100%.
All right, we're putting it in at 4. It's a
All right.
4.
So the next one up is going to be X-Men Arcade.
Oh, that's got to be close to the top. My goodness, my Guinness. I put so many quarters in that thing. Still to this day, that is one of the best, especially if you can find one of the 6-person cabinets with the double screens. Oh my goodness. Right, Chad? I mean, that was
wonderful. And as a kid, I didn't realize it was based off the cartoon that never made it past the pilot stage. And
Yeah.
man, did I want to see that cartoon.
That's
Oh,
why
it's
Gaz was
great.
in the game.
That cartoon, that pilot episode's awesome.
right. That Pride of
Didn't
the
they-
X-Men.
Yeah, they
It's
gave
awesome.
that away at Pizza Hut, right?
It's better than the actual animated series that they did put out.
Yeah, but was it Wolverine from like
Hipster.
Boston or something? Or
Australia.
he was Australia.
He was
There you go.
Australian. Yeah.
So where are we ranking this one?
Oh, that's got to be close to the top. There may be something higher.
I'd say 2 or 3 because like that game's great. I never played that in arcades. It was a little bit before my time, but I remember that came to PlayStation 3, like on the PlayStation Network when I was in college, and that was all we did when that game came out. Like my friends and I would just play that all night long. Like that's a great game.
I mean, it's in that same rarefied atmosphere as like the original TMNT arcade game and the Simpsons arcade game. Like that was a magic time when some of the best beat 'em ups came out. I say 2, unless Chad really feels.
I wouldn't go higher than 2. It was fun, but I feel like the games you just mentioned, The Simpsons and the like, they did more with that multiplayer mashup.
And to be
And the
blunt,
beat 'em up.
I would probably put Captain America and the Avengers above the X-Men game, just simply because of the terrible English
Voice acting.
translations
Yeah.
that put that game over the top.
Whoa.
See my power.
Man, there's
Yeah.
a new one coming out this fall, right? Or this winter.
Yeah,
Cosmic
Cosmic.
Invasion. Oh man, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
It looks good.
There's that. There's a He-Man one coming out. A He-Man beat 'em up. Yeah, this is going to be a good year.
And you
All
have
right,
to,
what's-
real quick, you have to, like, I know you guys kind of mentioned it, but like finding that 6-player arcade thing. That was like the holy grail back in the day.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you'd see the 4-1 everywhere. Like anytime you'd see it, it's always be the 4 people. It was only like rarefied air that you'd see that 6-person.
And then and people were like, "Who's going to be Dazzler?" Because
Yeah,
nobody wanted to be.
right.
I didn't mind being Dazzler. I like Dazzler, especially
Mm-hmm.
that second costume. Anyways, what's so we got our 2 and we got our 4. What else?
All right, so I'm gonna go next as a modern game. We're gonna go Spider-Man 1 on PlayStation 5 and PC.
Oh, so like the newest one, the one like
Yeah,
the one where they gave you the new costume and all that.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then,
You got a lot of costumes and all that.
Yeah, that's.
I got
like
that
that
platinum.
game a lot.
That's a great game. Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
game a lot, dude, especially now that I have my Steam Deck. I play it all the time. I just love swinging around the city and beating up thugs and putting on the bag man costume, like putting on the Fantastic Four. I've got a bag over my head and no shoes.
Because I was gonna put on Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2, but this game pretty much trumps it in every area, right? Did you say?
Well, I mean, let's ask Chad. Chad, do you think this one is better than Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2?
I think in all graphical areas and the things you can do, even some of the storytelling at Trump Spider-Man 2. But I do have a soft spot for that one. I mean that era of movie, that era of like all that stuff was great. So I would probably lean that way. But the new one's real good.
3? Like there has to I mean, we're starting to run out of room here. We're gonna have to put something at 1 and 5. We're gonna get the extremes. So like
I'm cool putting this at 1. Like, gun to my head, like the only better games are like Arkham Asylum specifically,
Mhm.
and like maybe Ultimate Alliance. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's many better games in this. So I'm cool putting this at 1 just because I think it's top tier. Like, I think it is like the new standard.
Yeah, that's the only ones he could throw out to me. Yes, is like the Arkham Asylum games and or the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. I think those would trump this. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't argue it. I have other games that I like more personally, but that's because.
All right, let's put it at 1. It's number 1. Let's put it on the list. Number 1, Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game. It's like the PlayStation 2 one, except better graphics. All right, move on.
All right. Well, it's funny that you guys mentioned it because that is next. Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
No.
Well, the first one, because the first one isn't as good as 2, I don't think.
Mm,
Ultimate
I thought-
Alliance 2 was my fave.
Oh, I thought 2 was dog shit. Respectfully.
What?
What about X-Men Alliance?
With the
Any
Winter
love for
Soldier?
that?
I mean,
storyline?
X-Men Legends is so much better than
Or
any of the
X-Men
Ultimate
Legends, I'm
Alliance
sorry.
games. The first one is great. The second one, like Age of Apocalypse, this was like my prime gaming era was when these games were coming out. I was 15. I would make just enough money a week to buy an Xbox game every week. It was what a time to be alive. X-Men Legends does laps around Ultimate Alliance. And Ultimate Alliance 2, like, I should love it. It's the Civil War. It's got slightly better graphics. You could combine powers. You could choose your own story by siding with Cap or siding with Iron Man. Like, it was super cool, but I just like the first one better, personally. It's like, it has a more classic feel where, like, it feels like you're going through, like, a Bronze Age story.
I'm
That's
so
true.
out of this conversation. Like, I
Poor Mikey.
Sorry,
don't
but
know. Lego,
You've never
Lego,
played-
yeah, like
You played
Lego
the X-Men
Indiana
one.
Jones. What's that?
You played the X-Men one, right? Yeah.
I did a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, I would have put this at number 1 just simply because I have fond memories. But like,
Yeah.
it's got to be 3 then. It's
Yeah.
not 5. It's not 5, so it's 3. It's 3.
All
What is the 5th one, Ethan?
Number 5 is Little Nemo, the Dream Master on NES.
That's a good game.
It is a
That's
good
a
game.
really good game. Capcom made really great games, but no, compared to all the rest of them, it should be a 5. It should be at the bottom of the list,
Yeah.
just simply because I don't even think people would realize that was a comic book related video game. Even though it is awesome stuff, if you ever have an opportunity to go out to Station, make sure that you're snagging your Little Nemo, the Dream Master, the Windsor McKay complete comic strips from the early
I wonder if
days.
it's any relation to Jed.
Jed McKay. Any case, go ahead and recap. What is our
right.
1 through 5 here?
All right, so we're gonna go. Starting with 5 is Little Nemo, the Dream Master on NES. Number 4 is Turok 2 on the N64. Number 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Number 2, X-Men Arcade, and number 1 is Spider-Man on the PS5 and PC.
That's
So
pretty
what-
good.
That's
That's
respectable, yeah.
I think that's a good listing, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Would you have switched any of them around, Ethan?
You know, I don't think so. Maybe giving a little bit more love for Turok 2, but I can understand its placing on this list compared to the heavyweights of Spider-Man, Ultimate Alliance, and X-Men Arcade. I probably would have X-Men Arcade number 1 because I probably would have, you know, on the second question, I probably would have shot my wad and like.
In terms of money spent on the game, the X-Men
Yeah.
Arcade game wins.
Yes, that is
One
true.
obscure one that I had on here that I took off was the Superman arcade game. Does anybody
Oh, I
remember
love
Superman
that.
arcade?
I love from Taito. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's got an awesome. If you play with 2 players, you get like a Superman in a red costume, which is just like Captain Marvel. So you're just like Shazam. You're just like, oh, look at that. It kind of looks like Superman, but it's not. It's not truly Captain Marvel. But I always thought of that. Another one that's obscure that not a lot of people talk about is the Punisher one.
Yes, I was
The
just gonna bring
Punisher
it
with
up, too.
Nick Fury as the
Yeah.
player too. That one's
That's a great
Man,
one. Too.
That
Yeah.
one, PlayStation just put out or last year, I guess, was the Capcom Marvel mashup disc. And
Mhm.
the Punisher game's on there. I haven't checked that one out
Ooh.
yet.
Yeah.
I have that on Switch. It plays really well. Also, man, there is a Punisher game from PlayStation 2,
I
Xbox
was
era
going to tell.
that is fucking phenomenal. That game
Yeah, I was
is
gonna ask you
so
about
violent.
that.
It is incredible that they got away
Yeah.
with that.
George,
I
I was
have
going to
a-
ask you about that game because I was curious because that's right in
That
your
would
wheelhouse.
probably be like if we were doing this, like I'd probably put that number 2. Like I couldn't beat it. I got stuck on Jigsaw, like the final boss fight, because it's like written by Garth Ennis. It's like a real ass comic book story where like Jigsaw is like the guy you've been hunting down this entire time, and he like steals a prototype armor from Iron Man. So you're going up against basically evil Iron Man as the final boss in that game.
Oh, wow.
But you're going through fighting like all the mafia families, and you could like grab people randomly. And there were contextual prompts in that game. So if you were fighting in a garage, you could like grab this guy, take them hostage, and then go over to like the workshop area and like grab a hammer. And there was like a mini game to like hurt this person to get the information you need out of them, but not kill them was like the hard part. And like you were like dangling someone over like a piranha tank at some point, and like you could drop him in and like not get the information you need, and then you have to go find someone else to like tell you the passcode to get into the room or whatever. Like the game was insane, and it was like a
Were
third
there
person
things
shooter.
like don't sneeze?
I don't recall that being an issue.
Mikey, you're about to say something.
Oh, I have a soundtrack for one of I think it was Genesis, X-Men 2, The Clone Wars.
Oh,
That-
yes.
That
That's-
game is
that's
so
Yeah,
good.
I've never played that. Well, I can't say that. I think I did play the game, but I don't remember much about it. But the soundtrack was done by Kurt Harland, who is the lead singer of Information Society.
Oh,
The
wow.
only part
Band
that I
was
remember
really
of that
into like
game-
in the 80s. Yeah.
The only part of that game that I remember is like because I never got past the first stage is like every time you booted up an X-Men random X person would just drop in from the
Mhm.
sky and then that's who you'd play as. There was
Yeah.
no like boot up screen, no nothing, like no start select screen. It was just like boot it right into the game and they drop you in with a random X-Men and you're just gonna have to go to war.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
I would restart it until I got Wolverine or Cyclops, just because like that first boss fight, 'cause you're
Beast
fighting
was
like,
great though.
He was
Beast
great,
had
but-
like
but like Wolverine had the lunge, so like that gave him like some range, so he could like get further
Yeah.
away from people, but then like jump in, and then Cyclops had his shit, so he could just like laser blast. Because that first
Yeah,
boss
it
you're
is-
fighting is like a master mold, and so like you
That is
need the
true.
distance because it could really mess you up. And then the second level, you're on whatever Magneto's fortress is called, not Axis. What is it called?
Asteroid M.
Asteroid M, and like that shit was impossible.
All right, let's move on to our second blind rank before we get to another commercial break here, Ethan.
All
What's
right,
our
sounds
second?
good. So the second blind rank, I'm going to need y'all to blind rank these editor chiefs and presidents
Ooh.
from comics.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
little heavy hitter
Editors-
here.
Editor-in-chiefs and presidents.
There's only one man that goes to the number one spot. And I'm declaring it right now. If he doesn't make the list, we just leave that spot empty.
All
Phil Jemis.
So first one I'm going to mention is
Bill
I'm going to start off with Joe Quesada.
Joe Q. I didn't like anything that Joe Q did.
I thought these were fictional. I was holding out for J. Jonah Jameson. You guys
Oh,
are
no.
these are real life people. I'm sorry. I should have gave that context before I started. Does it? You guys want to give a little bit of backup on Joe Quesada?
I based my entire podcast off the works of Joe Quesada and his time as president and publisher of Marvel. I'm cool if you guys put him at 5. I think he should probably be 4 or 3. But I feel like I dominated that video game list, and you guys are gonna know the older people more than I will. Like I have no opinion. The Jim Shooter era of Marvel. I'm like, I like Secret Wars, and like that's pretty much it. I can't speak to really anything else from Marvel at the time.
He could give us Janine Khan. He could give us obviously
Jeanette.
Jeanette Kahn would be my
Jeanette
number
Kahn.
one.
He could give he could give us obviously Stan Lee. Roy Thomas. I would put over him. I'd even put like the guy that was before Jim Shooter.
Perlmutter.
No, the dude that
Jerry Conway? Glenn
no
Wein?
no he was the
Mort?
writer's writer. He did
Grunwald.
he did Archie Goodwin. Archie Goodwin. Yeah.
See, I think Joe Q doesn't get enough credit because remember where he took over in '98, or at least that was when he started Daredevil, and comics were in rough shape, and he brought in all this creative talent and let them do what they wanted. And I'm with George. I think Joe Q deserves more cred than he gets.
Yeah, and he sold a lot of the movie rights too, and basically saved Marvel. more or less, right?
Let's throw it out to Mikey. Mikey, where would you put Joe Q on a 1 through 5?
I can't think of it. I'm not the guy.
I like you were trying to be like peaceful and like spread out like it's just like I don't give a shit, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, when was the editor in chief? Like, I don't even know.
1998 through.
I'll be honest with you guys. There's probably nothing I pay attention to less than who's editor in chief of comics. There probably is.
Okay.
I mean, he did keep it. I don't know what he kept. See, this is what I mean. Did he keep it from going under? Like, did he keep Marvel? The '90s, the 90s were a terrible time for mainstream comics.
Yeah,
It was broken by the time he started.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think one of his biggest accomplishment is he sold some of the movie rights. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
4. Let's say 4. I don't know.
That he also oversaw what I think the reason I do my podcast for the era I do. Sure, I was 15 and getting into it, so it's was it good or was I 15?
Mm-hmm.
I think looking back on it, that entire era is so tight editorially. It's so well organized where it did feel like the events dovetailed into the next event and it made sense and it felt like a snowball effect until Avengers vs. X-Men. Then I kind of fell off.
Is that sort of like the Marvel Knights era? Was he editor in chief?
Yeah, Marvel
yeah,
Knights,
see-
yep.
Okay,
And then Ultimates, right? I mean, that would.
So I will say that Marvel felt creatively like they were doing things a little outside of their box a bit. Like there was that Marvel Boy miniseries that Grant Morrison wrote, and I don't know if that's the same like the Morrison New X-Men. I don't know if that's the same era.
No, those are guys he brought in.
Yeah, I'll give credit for that because that's stuff that they never would have done before. Marvel does one thing very, very well, and they don't venture out of that very often. And they have and unfortunately, I think right now we're feeling that. A lot of readers are kind of not thrilled with what's going on there because it's just status quo. So I would say, I don't know, I would give him credit for that because that was injecting it with a little more creativity and a little more stuff there. You know, the Max line and the Ultimates thing and stuff like that. So that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
All right, where are we putting it? Three,
Four, three, four?
two, three, middle of the road.
I'm cool with 3 or 4. I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to be the worst person on this list. So
3 it is. Middle of the road, Joe Q. All right, Ethan, what's up next?
All right. Well, you mentioned her before, but here she comes. Jeanette Kahn.
Oh, that's got to be towards the top.
She would be my number one. Like,
Now, what
she-
years? Because was she an editor in chief, or was she just the showrunner?
They were the. She
What
was
was her
apparently
title?
the president because they did not have editor in chiefs. Well, she stepped down as publisher and assumed the title of editor in chief while retaining the office of president. After 26 years with DC, she left the company in 2002.
Yeah, she was
Well,
like
she-
1981 to like 2002 or something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the things that happened under her watch, Dark Knight
Everything.
Returns, Watchmen, like everything.
Crisis on Infinite Earth. Yeah.
Everything happened under her watch. She is as important to DC as I think Stan Lee is to Marvel, to be honest. I don't think even Mort Weisinger or whatever, whoever came
Yeah.
before, like I don't even think this is what people think of when they think of DC, is the stuff
Yeah.
that happened under her watch.
Yeah.
So unless they're gonna give us Stan Lee, she's number one.
Yeah.
Like Stan, like
I think the only person, the only
yeah,
person
Mike is
I
going to
might-
say Karen Berger.
Karen Berger is the only person I might put above that, but Vertigo exists because of Jeanette Kahn.
Yeah.
So Karen Berger was the editor there, but it wouldn't have existed if it weren't for Jeanette Kahn.
So you're saying if Stan doesn't show up, we still have somebody else to put at number 1? I say 2.
all right.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
I just want to read this last sentence too. That's pretty awesome. She oversaw diversification of originally overwhelmingly male staff at DC to the point when she left, almost half the employees were women.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah.
a pretty great
All
accomplishment.
right. Well, I mean, I'm going to go with Chad. Chad says 2. We're going to put her in a 2. All right. What's up next?
All right. Next up is Mike Richardson, the
Who?
founder of Dark Horse.
Oh, Dark Horse. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, this
Dark
is
Horse.
easy.
This
Hi, Mike Richardson.
5. I mean, Dark Horse is important. I mean,
Sure.
Dark Horse is very important.
it is. It's very important. It still is important. I still think that Mike Richardson is at Dark Horse. Like, I
Yes,
still
he
think
is.
he's the deal. Like, we still wouldn't have, like, Hellboy and other stuff.
And like he started that out of his shop. Like Dark Horse Comics was a store, and he decided he wanted to publish comics, so he
Yeah.
started producing comics. So that's killer.
And it's still like other than Image, it's still the And brand, like the And or brand. Like it still
Yeah.
exists. Like other ones might have gone the way of the dodo, but you can still say to yourself, like you got Marvel DC and then you got Image and then you got Dark Horse and it's still out there.
Yeah, they're going through a rough time right now because they lost a lot of licenses.
Let's put it to George. George, you're putting it at 4 or 5.
I don't care, man. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. No, it's just like the only thing I like really know from Dark Horse is like Hellboy. That's like the only book I've read in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
And a lot of like
FML.
All
license-
right.
FML from Kelly Sue DeConnick recently has been good. And so like, is this person still president of Dark
Yes.
Horse? Or-
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, like I respect that they're trying. I check out Midtown Comics every week just to see like what's coming out weekly.
I think you pulled your.
I mean, the
lost
big
him.
thing is like they had the Star Wars license. Like that was their huge bread and butter for a long time.
Star Wars, Alien, Predator, Terminator,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Yeah.
All right.
They
we'll put it
actually
in at
sort of-
5. It's Chad wins out. 5
What were
it
we gonna
is.
say? What were we gonna
You
say?
guys could vote me down, but
I don't know. Like, there's sure 5 it is. Okay, so we got
That's
our
hard,
4 and
yeah.
we got our 1. And we got like towards the bottom, and then we got the greatest person ever. Ethan, what's next?
All right, so next one up is Jim Shooter, and I specifically made this list when we were doing the Valiant, one of the Valiant blind ranks. So I was listing his time at Valiant, but you can also add time served at Marvel to the equation.
JA is gonna kill us if we don't make Jim Shooter #2 for Valiant, right?
Well, we already have
one.
two.
We only have 1 and 4 left.
We have
we
one
only have
and
1 and
4.
4.
Yeah.
I would put him at 1. I would put him at the late great Jim Shooter. I think. I mean, I don't know. Like, would I put Jeanette
Yeah.
Kahn over him? Yes, but we already have her at 2. So I'm like Jim. Jim was the guy that
Yeah.
he is Marvel. Like other than Jim, I don't think we're gonna get Stan. I don't.
Well,
think we're
even
gonna
for
get-
for what he did for like creators' rights and things like that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's super cool. Like,
He fought to get Jack Kirby his artwork back, and
yeah.
was a good in between the between the creators of the suits, and
Mhm.
managed to navigate that stuff.
And it always seemed like the moment that he left, like any of the companies, they kind of lost their way for many, many years. Like it definitely happened with Valiant. With Marvel again, he left he was booted out in the early 90s. Sure, there was some years, but I think that was all like the infrastructure he set up. And by midway through then all of a sudden, like without, I don't know, 1.
Yeah.
I'm putting 1. He's number
And I
1.
think one of the other things too, like the thing that's behind you, Andy. I mean, he was responsible for the Infinity Gauntlet, which is one of the most successful Marvel movies of all time.
Was
One of the
it?
most
Then
successful-
5, then 4.
He was in charge of Secret Wars for sure. I think he had
okay.
left he was over at
Valiant.
Valiant by the time.
Oh,
Infinity got-
okay.
But again, it was his infrastructure that was set up that allowed things like Infinity Gauntlet to exist. Like otherwise, Marvel would just still be like comic books not coming out on time and not having anybody. Go ahead.
To play devil's advocate, to argue against Jim Shooter, he did a lot of great things, but he also did a lot of things badly.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like when we read Secret Wars is a great idea. It's a great story, but whenever you look at the execution, it's like, oh wow, they didn't know what they were doing, and that was pretty apparent.
Yeah.
Or for every good creator story, there's a handful of others that are like, no, Jim Shooter said we needed to do X amount of grids, and like eventually he kind of got high on his own supply, and often led to his removal or downfall.
Yeah, and when we talked about Unity in a later episode that will be aired shortly, is like he kind of stretched himself too thin. Like a lot of the stories were very repetitive, and that was kind of our big knock on the series.
He's a tale of two halves. He did some really great things and definitely was an asset to the comic industry and was super impressive writing stories starting at like 13. But also there were a lot of things where it's like, oh, he's a human. Turns out not everything was
Right.
the best all the time.
Well, my point is, had we known that he was going to come, he probably would have been 2, and then Jeanette Kahn would have been number 1. But we don't have that hindsight. So he's not 4. He's not 4. So like I got to put him at 1. So let's move on. Who was number 4, Ethan?
All right, so I think you guys are going to be kicking yourselves a little bit for this one, as the last person on this list is Todd McFarlane.
Oh,
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 I think we did okay.
Oh man,
I will say this. I mean, had you given us like again Eric Larson, and I mean the fact Image is still around and Image is still it is the and brand. It is the place where people still go and get their ideas made. Outside of the big 2, and that's a lot of what those guys did. If nothing else, like that's more for me personally. That's the legacy of Image. More than any of the 90s books is the fact that like they gave creators a place to tell stories.
yeah, but the action figures,
I was going to
art-
say that's Todd McFarlane's bread and butter is not so much the comics, because there have been other people that are presidents of Image. Like Larson had a turn, Jim Valentino had a turn. I think it's been Eric Stevenson for the last decade or so since the Kirkman era. But Todd McFarlane's big thing, in addition to the comics that he's made, is the changes that he's made to the toy industry. And so he gets lots of props for that, but the comic work, like, I didn't like Spawn when he was doing it.
yeah.
All right, so go ahead and recap these, Ethan.
All right, so we got number 5. We got Mike Richardson from Dark Horse. Then we got for number 4, we got Todd McFarlane from Image Comics. Then we got number 3 is Joe Quesada from Marvel. Number 2, Jeanette Kahn from DC, and the number 1 is Jim Shooter from Marvel and Valiant.
Oh yeah. As I said, I would have flip-flopped 1 and 2. I really would have. I think that Chad made some excellent points about the two sides of the coin with Jim Shooter.
But hey, Jim Shooter gave us Frank Miller on Daredevil and Walt Simonson on Thor. You can't beat that. Those are the best of comics.
So if I gave you guys Stan, would he be undebated number 1?
Yes.
For me,
Yes. Come on, Mikey. You have to give like.
I don't know.
Come.
I don't know. I'm not. That's not my era. I don't like the books he's written. I don't like his writing style. The only book that I ever read of his that I liked was Silver Surfer Parable.
All right.
And other than that, I think he's just like. I don't like the Marvel style. I think is what it is.
She-Hulk, written by Stan Lee.
You know, yeah. I just I don't like that Marvel style of writing because it gives you. You know, the artists want to draw action scenes, but he wants to run his mouth through the whole book. So you've got Daredevil doing monologues when he's getting punched in the face.
I was going to say, you get both. That's the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't work for me. It's just not a style that I'm into. But I can see why people like it because it is very bombastic and energetic and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's just not my thing.
And anybody that I'm missing off the list that I know, Mikey, you named somebody that you wished you would have saw. Who said,
I mean, Karen Berger. Karen Berger was in charge of Vertigo. And she probably would have been my number 1. It's kind of hard to say. I think Vertigo for me, and again, we love what we all of us love what we read when we were a certain age. And for me, that age was 16 through like 20. That was even though I read G.I. Joe and I read Transformers and stuff when I was a kid, but that era of like, you know, Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns and Swamp Thing and Hellblazer, and then the birth of Vertigo and the books that came in that's what fed my that's my taste, you know? Yeah. So the amount of creativity that she was bringing to books that were being published by Vertigo is the closest thing now is Image. Honestly, Image is publishing a wide variety of styles and very artistic and very beautiful and very well written, very, you know, so, but you know, back then it was I just think, you know, we also had First Comics and we had Tundra and we had Comico, and it was like an embarrassment of riches in that period of time for people that wanted to read things other than Marvel. And but Vertigo wouldn't exist without Jeanette Kahn, so it's kind of hard to balance the two. But she would have been my
also, I was playing it really close to the vest once because I was afraid you drop in a CB Cebulski, and I was like, well, we got to have like a 5 slot or like a 12 slot just in case that name comes up. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mikey, who would you rank lower? CB Cebulski now? Like, I don't know how much you give a shit about Marvel now, but like CB Cebulski or like Dan DiDio or Didio?
Didio, yeah.
Didio.
Honestly, is Didio gets a lot of flack, but I like a lot of the stuff that Marvel was putting out at that time.
You mean
I
DC?
thought it was, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Phil Gemma. I'm thinking of Gemmis. I'm sorry, I got confused.
Yeah, Didio was New 52. He was the guy who hated JLI.
Yeah,
shot Blue Beetle in the head.
Hated Nightwing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me, really. It was just like and that's what I mean about not paying much attention to editors in chief and things like that. I know they're driving the bus, apparently, but I don't really care so much about who's driving the bus so long as the people in the seats are interesting. And some of that New 52 stuff New 52 gets a bad rap, I think. I think there was a lot of quality in New 52. You know, I think there was a lot of, unfortunately, it was like early Image where the really good books didn't actually last very long, you know? So like, you know, like that OMAC book was awesome. And that was like, you know, 12 issues.
Well, the one guy that I think was left off this list that I could throw out there that I feel like a lot of folks owe a lot of I don't know thanks to is Bill Gaines. So without Bill Gaines and EC Comics in the late 40s, early 50s, pushing the envelope of what you could do with comic books at the time, going up there trying to fight for comic books in front of the Senate, and obviously it was a losing fight. But Bill
Wait,
Gaines,
wasn't he the one that did so badly that they ended up with a comics code? as a
That's true,
result?
but he's an interesting cat. He's an interesting Bill
Yeah.
Gaines. Come on, EC
All right,
Comics.
Were you going to throw a Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson, the founder of DC Comics, who then bankrupted it 3 years later?
It's a carny industry.
Any case, we'll be right back with more of the Last Comic Shop right after this commercial break.
I
With
think I'm going to jump off, though.
That's right, Ethan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight
Yes.
for Blind Ranks, and happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Before I
Yay.
go, I just wanted to say real quick, since I'm on here and it's a public forum, I just wanted to say, good friend of mine who I work with, Gene, just got diagnosed with ovarian cancer and is going to surgery over the next 2 days. So just prayers up for Gene, and hopefully, all
Hey.
the surgery goes well for her. So
For sure. For
thank
sure.
you so much, and
Sending
happy
positive-
Thanksgiving. Sorry I didn't mean to end on a sour note, but happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at bcwsupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD.
LastComicShopPodcast.com is the destination for all things shop. Plan your week with upcoming show schedules, the latest books, recommendations, and chatter from the crew. Subscribe to the show on all major podcasting platforms from one convenient location. Show your support and browse the merch store. T-shirts, tanks, hoodies for the fam, coffee mugs, magnets, totes, and more. Check out exclusive content through the show's YouTube channel and follow the pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and others. All this and so much more at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com.
All right, we are back with more of the Last Comic Shop. As you can see, this upcoming Tuesday, we've got a brand new episode of the Last Comic Shop. We'll be reviewing, as part of our annual event, DC Ember. We'll be joined by Mikey Wood, who's on our live stream right now, as well as John Engel from New Dimension Comics. We're going to be reading Dark Knights of Steel. That's right. So if you like your DC Elseworlds mixed with a little bit of Game of Thrones action, we'll be reading the 12-issue maxi series, as well as I think there was an add-on issue, although it's not a maxi series because then they put out more books. So like, I guess it's not just like this one thing, but yeah, that episode coming out on December 2nd, 2025. So next Tuesday. Make sure that you're rate, reviewing, and subscribing over at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com so you do not miss this tremendous episode. Mikey, preview of Dark Knights of Steel. Thoughts? Anything?
It was good. I liked it. It was interesting. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's like what it's one of those what if books, one of those Elseworld books. Like it's Batman, but they're knights. So it's cool.
Yeah, they swap parents.
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah. All right, Chad. Any preview thoughts for this upcoming episode?
No, I enjoyed this thing as it's coming out, and it's got the Tom Taylor writing, and Yasmin Putri is the artist for the majority. And I had not seen that art before, and it is a revelation unto itself.
Yes,
So-
it's pretty.
Now, George, you're not on this particular show. Did you end up reading Dark Knights of Steel? Thoughts on it before as you're getting into the show?
Yeah, I did not read it, but I've been reading Children of the Round Table recently, which is like a current Tom Taylor book, and I don't know why I don't buy every book that has Tom Taylor's name on it. Dude is just really good at telling entertaining stories. Like I haven't disliked a single book of his that I've read, so I messed up. I should have grabbed this book, but I will be reading it shortly. I finally caught up on all my current books, so I'm looking for some more stuff to read.
All right. Well, let's get to that segment that I promised at the top of the show. These are comic books we are thankful for. So we're going to go around the table and we're going to list at least one for everybody that it's a comic book that whether it's a new one, whether it's an old one, it's kind of like a play on recommendations in some shape or form that we do on the Last Comic Shop every single week. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start off with George, again, because I have a graphic I think brought up for this one. So you're going to be talking about a little bit of Starman. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'll be honest, I started reading this book because it felt like a book Mikey would have read and would have judged me for not reading it. So that was why I try to read it like I have like the first print trade from when I was in high school. I managed to find that at a comic shop. And I tried to read it. I'm like, God, this shit sucks. And then I tried to like reread it probably like every 2 years, and I just couldn't get through it. Finally, something happened in the last 2 days. I don't know what it was. So the first book I'm thankful for in big, beautiful compendium edition is Starman by James Robinson and Tony Harris and Wade Von Grawbadger. The thing I'm really thankful for is, like, it doesn't matter how many comic books you've ever read, there's always a run you haven't read yet. So I am so happy to be sitting down, going through like 5 to 6 issues a night. I really can't put it down. It's been a fun couple days just getting into it for the first time.
Yeah. Mikey, thoughts on Starman?
I love Starman. Starman is an absolute love letter to the DC universe, and it just is beautiful. I have all the omnibus, the little hardcover omnibuses. There's like 6 of them. I just love that book, and the closest thing now is like the JSA run that's going on right now is kind of a close thing. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm glad you're reading. I think more people should. That was just a beautiful book. So
to both of you, because I've never read it. Can you just start with the first issue and just go from there?
Yeah.
Like you don't need any background into the character. You don't need to know about the cosmic rod or anything like that.
They give it all to you. Yeah.
I'm 10 issues into this run so far. They cover it all really clearly there. Actually, the reason I started like really reading it is I wanted to reread the JSA book from 1999, but they just like kept mentioning stuff in that book that clearly alluded to this. I'm like, yeah, screw it. Like, I'll rip the Band-Aid off. I'll actually try it this time, and I'm having such a great time. So I cannot recommend this book enough.
Chad, have you read the Starmans?
I've not read the Starman. No, it's a blind spot for me for sure.
All right. Well, one book you have read is going to be your comic book that you are thankful for. So what do you got for us this week?
All right. So mine is a combination of things. And I remember before we've done this about things we were thankful for, and I would bring up things like Treasury Editions, which Treasury Editions are the best. And then I was thinking about...
Welcome Back, Cotter?
This is Welcome Back, Cotter. So this is one I found at this most recent convention. Like, as far as Treasury Editions go, I'm down to the more obscure ones. So I was super excited to get Mr. Cotter in Treasury form. But not only do I love Treasury Editions, I love gimmicks. And so there's things like, this is one of the books I found at this recent convention, because I love the conventions too. This is DCKO with a shiny Darkseid cover. But coming out soon, it's a comic I don't have in my hands yet. It's something that combines the wonderment and the embiggerment of a Treasury edition and the gimmickry of a foil cover, and that is Superman v. The Amazing Spider-Man facsimile edition with the foil cover. Should be out sometime in the next couple of months. I just put my order in with my comic shop about a week ago, and I cannot wait. But it is all the things I love, and it'll be the first time I get to read Superman versus Spider-Man with that beautiful Ross Andrew with touch-ups from John Romita and Neil Adams art on pure, pristine white pages. Because all of mine that I have are the old school, that I found along the way with this beautiful garbagey paper that I love. But you can see the yellow and the love that's come with the age of it. But I'll finally get to see one of, beautiful, crisp, white work there. But look how fun these things are.
That's beautiful.
I was going to show you that I have that particular book that you're holding up. I have that in hardback. They put out a collection. They redid that Amazing World of Superman, which was always neat because I didn't realize all about they were going to build a Superman theme park in the 1950s, and it's called.
I don't want to take it out of the stable, but there's a giant map. It's a map of Metropolis. It's in there.
Well, all right, Mikey, you're up next. What are you thankful for in terms of comics?
Well, one of my favorite comics that just is sitting next to me is actually a thing that I follow on Kickstarter, and there's 3 issues so far, and the first one's in a box somewhere, but these are issue 2 and 3, and this is Geezer. And Geezer is by William Potter and Philip Bond. Philip Bond, whose work I really love, who's married to Shelley Bond. And it is the story of a, Manchester band during that second British invasion of the 90s with like Blur, that kind of stuff. I love the kind of music. This is a really fun book. And they're they're the size of 7-inch records. And each one comes in a really super cool sort of like record store bag, and they come with these little swag packs that have buttons and stickers just like you're really into the band and things like that. Super fun. I'm always happy when they do new ones, and I do think there's going to be a 4th issue, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy for stuff like that. I'm happy that people are still producing that kind of work. I know they say Image is indie, but I don't know. The jury's out on that. But yeah, I'm just happy that people are still creating and people putting it. And honestly, really, what I'm mostly thankful for is you idiots, because I get to do this. I get to come and talk to you because my wife couldn't possibly care less about all of these things. She thinks actually just take up too much room and too much of my money. So she couldn't care less about any of these comics and things. My daughter couldn't possibly care less either. So I have you guys, and I you bring me in. I talk too much. Everybody gets frustrated with my ADHD, and then we do it again the next week or whenever. So I really am. I really am thankful for you. It keeps me alive, man.
We love you, dude. We love having
Thanks,
you.
dude.
We love talking to you. We couldn't be more thankful on our end.
Oh, yes. We couldn't do this show for the last 5 years without Mr. Mikey
Oh.
Wood. Make sure that you're checking out that mega pack we have right now with some of the best episodes featuring Mikey Wood and Marvel books. So that's a great collection. And if you've never listened to a lot of the episodes Mikey Wood's on, it gives you 6 hours to listen to him talk about everything from She-Hulk to the X-Men and New Teen Titans to Silver Surfer Parable that he commented on before. It is an absolute tremendous collection. 6 hours right there. I'm going to wrap up things with comic books I'm thankful for with a comic book that I found at the Pittsburgh Comic Show this past weekend. It is the beginning of a 3-issue story arc that occurred in Marvel 2-in-1, which was a great series in which Thing would just team up with folks. But really, it was an opportunity for them to finish off other stories that were happening in other comic books, or play with ideas that maybe were started places and then couldn't be finished in other ones. This one's written by an author I'm very fond of in Mark Grunwald. And it is the first appearance of her, who is the female version of Adam Warlock. I think she's now called, she was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. What was her name? She's the gold lady. Is it the Sovereign? I don't know what it is. Maybe. I don't know. But that's something like that. Long story short, this particular book, if you don't know, Adam Warlock was originally created on Earth by a super secret group of scientists. They created another one named her. And when she's born, she's like, oh gosh, what is my purpose? And she's like, well, maybe my purpose is to find this Adam Warlock guy and ask him what his deal is. Or maybe that's my soulmate or whatever. And so she teams up with the Thing and a lot of the other cosmic characters at Marvel at the time, like Starhawk, who's awesome, to go find Adam Warlock. But by that time, Adam Warlock had died. And so she finds his corpse on the moon. And she uses her magic powers to bring it back to life. But because Adam Warlock is actually in the Soul Gem, he has no soul. So even though she brings his corpse back to life, it's not him because he doesn't have a soul. And it's really sad and really like a kind of a tragic story. But it's only 3 issues. It happens in Marvel 2-in-1, 61, 62, and 63. And it's got great covers and a really great story. So if you've never read it, you can pick these issues up. This one might be a little bit more pricey because of the first appearance of her. But it's a really great coda to a lot of the stuff Jim Starlin was doing with Adam Warlock in the 1970s, which you read, George, on the last comic shop. So if you want to know what happens to Adam Warlock after he dies, like, this is a great little 3-issue arc that kind of wraps all that up. So.
Does he become him? Isn't there a character named him?
He was him.
He was him, yeah.
Adam Warlock's original name was him. Like, he was known as him. That's why she's named
Who
her.
was he? He was him?
He was him.
Third base.
Let's go ahead and move on to turkeys. That's right, comic book turkeys as we wrap up this week's show. We're going to talk about some comic books maybe we're not so fond of. Again, whether or not they're new, whether or not they're comic books that are old. I know mine one is finally getting something off my chest because I got some grief recently on the Jessica Jones show we did about why I didn't like a particular book. And I want to set the record straight as to why I don't and how unfair it is and how I didn't like it. But we'll throw out this to other people. Let's start off with George. He hasn't talked in a little bit of a while. George, do you have a comic book turkey, something that you're not really particularly fond of at this exact moment?
I'm not fond of the X-Men line right now. I'm a little frustrated with is it Shadows of Tomorrow, I think is what, or From the Ashes was dealing with like the post-Krakoa stuff. And I think Shadows of Tomorrow is like the upcoming soft reboot they're doing again, where they're introducing like a new flagship X-Men title. It just feels a little directionless, a little pointless sometimes. Uncanny X-Men is a great book by Gail Simone, and I think David Marquez is like the regular artist on that with like a couple fill-ins, of course. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm not trying to be too negative because I think there's like the art has never been better. I could tell you 10 books that Marvel's putting out right now that I think are fantastic. But like One World Under Doom was kind of a dud. X-Men right now is kind of a dud. Bring On the Bad Guys I thought was actually pretty good. Like as far as just like one-off part series together. But it really feels like I know Chad isn't looking forward to this, but like, was it like Weapons of Armageddon or something? Whatever, like the next crossover is at Marvel, the next event, written by Chip Zdarsky. So like that's why I know you're not sure which one you're not sure which chip you're gonna get. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm just down. Like I think the art is good. I think a lot like the Emma Frost miniseries was like fun and entertaining. it was pointless. Like it really feels like a relief pitcher who's just there to eat up innings and just like not lose the game until the closer comes out. That's what a lot of these books are. They're high quality. They're just not important. They don't feel important. And it's like it's supposed to be disposable entertainment, but like these books are too expensive to be disposable entertainment at this point. So I feel like I wish they tried a little bit harder.
Okay. No, that's a fair point, especially with the price point. Mikey, comic book turkey. Something that you're not.
I mean, I would say Hush too, but that's low hanging fruit. I don't want to do that.
God, that book sucks ass.
I mean,
man.
Hush
Jesus.
one wasn't great to begin with. Honestly, I know
It's
a lot of people like it, and I put on Blue Sky that if you say that Hush is like your all time favorite Batman story, I will immediately question: A, have you read any other ones, and B, what's your taste level? Like you know. I really don't. But anyway, I'm not really reading anything that's like I like like DCKO is better than I expect. It's so fun. Like the concept, when I read the concept, I was like, this sounds so stupid. And it's not. Like it's so I can't use that. I think really okay. I don't like the way Marvel does their omnibuses. Like I don't like the way they because I feel like I will be searching for the Aliens Original Years Volume 2 for the rest of my life because I'm not paying $300 for an omnibus book. And like the Zdarsky, the second volume of the Zdarsky Daredevil. Like I don't buy them very often. There's only certain ones that I buy. But the way they don't keep them in, I don't know what the logic is for not keeping them in print, because if it's running up the secondary market, they're not making any of that secondary market money. So I don't understand what the logic is behind that, unless they just don't feel like it. And then they're like overpriced anyway. Like you could get a Dark Horse omnibus that's, not the same dimensions, but the same amount of stuff and a hardcover for like $30. It's just, I don't know. That's my thing. That's my gripe.
Yeah.
So
Even the compact editions, they charge $5 more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, what gives?
Yeah.
Right. All right, Chad, you're up. Do you got a comic book turkey, past or present?
So I'm going to piggyback off of Mikey. It's the current state of Marvel. And I know George was mentioning he can find 10 books that he really enjoys from Marvel. For me, Marvel feels like later stage New 52. Where like there are diamonds in there, but they're really hard to come by. They're drowned out by a lot of just not even bad books, but just status quo books. Like there's not excitement. There's not any idea. Like Marvel used to be the house of ideas, but when's the last new original idea you've seen from them? I mean, you have, like I said, there are good writers out there. You've got your Jed McKays, you've got your Ryan Norths, and they're doing good work. But for the most part, I just feel like, oh, it's treading water, and they have events, and like, oh, this event is the same name as this event that happened 20 years ago. Remember when you liked it better the first time? Here it is, but just not as good. It's like it's all Chip Zdarsky. Here's this stuff that's like the things you used to like, but just not as good.
And I think that this was a golden opportunity for Marvel this year, just to piggyback off of that, just simply because of the Marvel Rivals game. Like there was an interest in some of their IPs, right? Their characters. They were out there and the kids were looking at them. It would have been a great opportunity to get some comic books out in front of them other than the Marvel Rivals comic book, which is actually pretty good and out in trade paperback just today. So like if you haven't checked out the Marvel Rivals comic book written by guest of the show Paul Aller, you should check that out because it's out in trade right now. But yeah, I thought it was an opportunity, a golden opportunity for them to strike while that iron is hot and get people interested in a way that the movies did. And like they just went, no, we're just going to keep on doing these again, not bad books, but not books that are moving the needle or generating it, and definitely not worth the price point that you're paying for a monthly comic. That's why I stopped. I actually stopped subscribing to a whole bunch of them, just simply because I was like, this isn't worth it. Like these are not the best books out there. So
Yeah. Is that yours though, or what was your turkey?
No, absolutely not. Mine is going to be talking about Avengers Disassembled. That's right. Avengers Disassembled into New Avengers, and why I don't like this event. Really quickly. We brought this up on the Jessica Jones show just last week. Again, we were talking about Brian Michael Bendis, and I'm not going to blame Bendis for I am. But I thought I finally would get out there and set the record straight. And since I have Bendis fans here, and George and Chad, maybe they can give their 2 cents and stick up for their boy. The reason why I don't like Avengers Disassembled, and why I never liked New Avengers either, is because, to me, the Avengers were never really the Justice League of America. They were not that book in which you got all of the best characters of Marvel and put them on a team and put them out in front of everybody. If you look historically at the Avengers book, maybe that's why people didn't read it. Doesn't matter. I read it, and it's because they had a family of characters that you grew up with over like 20, 30 years. Right? You knew that you were going to get the big three. You knew you were going to get Vision and Scarlet Witch. You knew you were going to get Hawkeye. You knew you were going to get some sort of Hank Pym or Janet. You knew you were going to get maybe Black Panther, maybe She-Hulk. You knew there were certain characters you were going to get, and you got 1 or 2 other ones. But at some point, they were like, no, that's not what we want to do with the Avengers. We want to make the Avengers the book in which Spider-Man shows up and Wolverine shows up. And those are the people that people read comic books about. So we're going to put them on a team. And as a result of that, we got a clean slate. So we're going to have this Disassembled. And so I'm just simply saying that the reason why I never liked Disassembled is the reason why some people might not have liked X-Men. Let's put this in the same context of X-Men, because I've been thinking about it. So let's just say you had the X-Men and you were a longtime X-Men fan. Right? You were a longtime X-Men fan, and they finally put on an event where Storm, not Jean Grey, not whatever, Storm, she goes crazy and she kills Nightcrawler and Colossus right off the bat. She kills them and she's like, I'm crazy now. So you're not going to have me on a book anymore. Then I'm going to basically get rid of everybody else except for Wolverine and Cyclops, because that's the only people that people care about, right? And then we're going to put Spider-Man and the Hulk and, I don't know, somebody else on the team that's important, popular, or whatever. We're going to put them on the X-Men, and we're going to call it an X-Men book. And then we're going to put it out there. And we're going to say, this is going to be your X-Men book for the next, 10 to 15 years. This is going to be your status quo. That's why I didn't like just Avengers Disassembled. That's why I didn't like New Avengers, because they screwed with my team. They screwed with my group of characters that I had been following for a really long time. Just like people that were following the X-Men for a really long time would probably have been pissed off had they got rid of a lot of their characters and replaced them with people like Hulk, which has no business being on an Avenger, on an X-Men team. Right? Now I'm going to shut up at this point. And anything you say is not going to change my mind. But George, Chad, the floor is yours to give your counterpoint.
Andy, I'm sorry that they hurt you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they insulted you so hard with those incredibly well-written comics that came out of it. They were really good. It was really rotten of them to make Avengers an exciting book. Give Captain America and Iron Man the rub from Iron Man or from Spider-Man and Wolverine so that they could be popular enough that they could make their own movies and bring Marvel into a next level of financial success.
Solvency. Yeah. You guys are being dicks. I get where you're coming from. I completely get, I know you're kidding, by the way. I completely understand where you're coming from, Andy. My point is, the way Chad was talking in the previous segment about something new, this was something new. And it felt like it mattered because it was something new. I get why it's frustrating, where it's just why couldn't you do something new, but not break characters who matter? And I totally get why that sucks. But I don't know, man, Avengers Disassembled dovetails into Secret War, right? And so like that was a little thing that set up and like kind of put like Nick Fury and the spy community on watch. And then that goes into Civil War, goes into Secret Invasion, goes into like goes into Siege and all this stuff, where it just felt like I really couldn't tell what was going to happen next. Like, Mike, have you read Secret Invasion?
I did, yeah. I really liked that actually. I thought that was really interesting, and I get that a lot. And this is not that we're, of course, this is not me being insulting. It's going to sound like I am, but I'm not.
I'm going to insult you real bad here.
That's right. That's right.
That's all right.
With the best of intentions.
You guys suck, but in a great way. No. You have comfort zones, and you like your comfort zones because they're comfort zones. We all do. This took you out of your comfort zone, and you didn't like it. It's not my Avengers. It's not. But that was the whole point, because your Avengers weren't working anymore. They were working for people who had stayed with it for so long that they it's the same thing that happened when Morrison started writing X-Men. That new X-Men run was the best the X-Men had been in years. People hated it. A lot of people, many people hated it. Primarily like people who white knuckle their characters and like things to be the way they are because it's a comfort zone. So that's whereas I really like it when people shake things up. I like when things are shaken up a lot. That's why I think I like Tom King books a whole lot. People will say, well, he doesn't know anything about the characters, where I'm like, no. I think he knows more about the characters than you guys think he does. And he's making them interesting because they're not, things like that. It's not for everybody. So it's perfectly okay to not like something that a lot of people do. I have that problem a lot because I enjoy things that people very vocally do not enjoy. Specifically like, Zack Snyder's Justice League movies and things like I genuinely enjoy them without any kind of, sarcasm. And people really, really hate them. And it's hard for me to understand what people don't see just as much as it's hard for them to understand what I do see. And that's where you're running into it. It was a big event that was very popular and it didn't hit you in the comforts. It didn't make you happy. It was like if mom cooks your favorite recipe but changed a few things, you're going to be like, this, it was fine before, why? And that's fine, but
Sure.
that's where I think it's coming from though.
Long story short, I'm sure that all of us have one of these things.
Sure.
These hills that we die on. I'm sure
Dan
that
Slott, Spider-Man. Sorry.
New 52. Yeah.
I'm sure we all have one. There was an opportunity on a previous episode where I didn't really get to voice why. And I thought I would. For those Last Comic Shop fans out there. I mean, again, it's very popular. I'm sure lots of people like it. I'm sure that there are folks on the show that really love it. I'm not going to say that they're wrong. They're not. They love it. That's why I never liked it. That's why I never could get behind it. Especially what they did to Scarlet Witch. That was really, Scarlet Witch was one of my, she was one of my top tier characters, and they broke her for years, just years.
Is that the whole House of M thing?
Yes, the House of M. And people could think that was different, but
from that though, we got the Young Avengers. We got the return of her twins. We got Young Avengers: The Children's Crusade, which really brought her back. We got that one issue. Was it New Avengers 26 or 27, where it's
with the closet?
Yeah, with the one with where it's just Hawkeye and Wanda, and it got that beautiful art, the Malieve art. And that's an incredible issue. I totally get where it's oh, we lost. It's like a wrestler who's shelved for 6 months. You're oh man, how much bigger would they have been if they just got to stay on top. I completely get it, but God damn, man, we got so many good stories out of that too. I understand they weren't the stories you were hoping for, but
no, it's not that. I actually enjoy those stories. I enjoy the overall arc, but I just don't think to me, that's just how do I say it? It's it's somebody gave people lemons and they decided to make lemonade out of it. You're right. Yeah. That doesn't give that just because good things eventually came out, it doesn't excuse the fact that you did this to begin with. That's just
yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to not like stuff. And that's
I'm-
what the cool
I-
thing about comic books. Like,
That is
there's
true.
stuff out there for everybody, and there's stuff
That is true. But that was the topic of this segment. Make sure that you're checking out this week's show. It is Transformers, and it is by Daniel Warren Johnson. We do talk about some awesome, obscure play sets and things. And again, next week's show is Dark Knights of Steel, with not only Mikey Wood, but also John Engel from New Dimension Comics. Make sure you're subscribing over there at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com so you don't miss any of those episodes and some of the other tremendous comic book talk that we've got on these episodes for the rest of December. Yeah, because it's all DC episodes for the rest of this year, including the data and review, which Chad's been crunching the numbers, right?
Can you give the data in today? Just those last.
Can you give a preview? Just a hot preview, or just a little?
It's a lot of numbers. You know, I could not, because I kept asking you, what's the order for the last shows? And you're like, well, these are the shows. And I'm like, well, what's the order for the last shows? And you're like, well, these are the shows. And so I need you to tell me the order for the last few shows. And then I can properly crunch all our data there,
All right. So if you're interested in what's going to be coming up in December over the next 5 weeks, next week we've got Dark Knights of Steel, followed by Pride of Baghdad, followed by Warlord, the first, the first 10 issues. That omnibus has actually been pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out this week. It has now been pushed back to December 23rd. So, some insider baseball, we already recorded that show, and I might have mentioned that the omnibus is already out in that episode. It's coming out on December 23rd. After that, it's New Gods by Ram V and Evan Cagle. And then finally, to wrap up December, we've got Batman Year One. So, Chad, that is the rundown of the next 5 shows. Got the posted note there. Make sure you're rate, reviewing, and subscribing over at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. Thank you so much to Chad Smith, Mikey Wood, and George from Shortbox Summary for being on our live stream today. We are going to close out by going back in time to the first Thanksgiving we ever had at the Last Comic Shop, and a very cool skit, which I still think is one of the all-time best things we ever did on this show. Hope you enjoy it. Happy Turkey Day, everyone!
Happy Thanksgiving. And guys, I know Mikey got mentioned earlier. I'm so thankful for you guys and coming and being able to do this and having that outlet, because that's the point of this clubhouse, and
sir.
It helps make life better. So
Yes, sir.
Cheers to you all.
Welcome back to the 4th annual Fakey Thanksgiving Day Parade, and boy, has it been quite a parade thus far.
Yes! Who knew these things were still popular? I thought halfway through the second hour, most people would have bailed and switched over one of those Squid Games.
Well, it just goes to show you that even in this era of political discord, most people still enjoy watching gas bags full of hot air parade down Main Street. Speaking of street, let's get back down to street level with our ace reporter, J.A. Scott. J.A.?
Thanks, Andy. As you can see, most people are anxiously awaiting the arrival of the next giant balloon. Well, that is those who aren't already plastered off their asses thanks to the Rumpelmans Company giving out free samples with their float this year.
Yeah, I'm glad they decided not to go ahead and with their original plans of teaming up with the folks from the Louisville Slugger Company, as I could have seen that quickly turning into something out of The Purge.
And here comes the next balloon now, and boy is this going to be a treat for all our listeners out there, as it looks like it's that great American institution, the Last Comic Shop, with a balloon-sized version of their logo, which most people think is some sort of New England-style lighthouse.
And it is indeed a special treat, as our own Chad Smith was in charge of setting up the Last Comic Shop's entry for this year's parade, and I've been told he's got a special surprise for all our fans along that route.
That's right. By the way, you guys heard lighthouse? I always heard robot genitalia. Anyway, the Last Comic Shop balloon is actually a house at the end of the broken down street, by the way, but it is filled with 700,000 cubic feet of helium. But inside, there's specially placed volunteers near the top of that balloon handing out free copies of New 52 DC Comics with Superman on the cover for all those loving comic book readers that showed up at the parade today.
And who doesn't like free comics, right? And of course, all those single issues will make a great treat.
About that, they're not the single issues. I was able to get the omnibus at such a great price. I thought, the fans will love it. These are like 1,000-page versions, 52 new comics at once, hardbound and ready to fly.
And I can see the balloon now as it approaches the intersection, and they're throwing something out of it, and it is, oh my god, the comics are hitting the ground like bags of wet cement. They're so thick, they're maiming some of the small children. There are folks fleeing in terror. Get away from there. It's absolute madness. Oh, the humanity.
Let's cut back and get an official statement from Chad Smith on the wanton chaos that just unfolded on the streets below. Do you have anything to say in the face of this unmitigated disaster?
As God is my witness, I thought those Supermans could fly.